Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well and practicing radical self-care. I hope you're getting out and getting exercise, running, climbing, swimming, yoga. I hope that you are seeing a trauma therapist. I hope that you are reading some good books. I'm gonna try to recommend books when I open up sometimes with these videos. And I think the book by Pete Walker, Complex PTSD, from Surviving to Thriving, I think it is a really good book, and it will help with childhood trauma as well as the trauma of overcoming a narcissistically abusive relationship or a relationship with a psychopath or sociopath or an active addict, anyone who's toxic. So in this video, what I'm going to talk about is the covert narcissist, their cheating, how they get away with it, how they do it, and how they're often able to blame their partner or the affair partner for the infidelity. And they're masters at manipulation and crafting a narrative so that they don't take any responsibility for their infidelity. So why do they cheat? Well, a primary reason that they cheat is because they really thrive and they are addicted to feeling special, right? And they need a narcissistic supply. They need outside validation, somebody validating and putting them on a pedestal and treating them like they're very, very, very special, right? And the covert narcissists, remember, they appear to be pretty normal. They can even be quite shy and introverted. They do not seem like they're overtly egocentric, but internally, they have an incredible sense of entitlement and they feel like they're very, very special. But remember, they're the misunderstood special person. They might be the type where nobody sees how wonderfully special and unique and, incredible they are. And they feel like the world just doesn't recognize their superiority and their specialness, right? So, internally, and they feel like, they never acknowledge anyone else's contribution. They don't do reciprocity. All they look at is like what they've done to relationships. And in their minds, they've been perfect. They've contributed everything and you've done nothing, right? So that's kind of just how they look at things. But because they have this desire, this need to feel special, an addiction to it, essentially, to supply, cheating is a way to get that, right? Especially if they're, cheating with like a married person, they're getting a lot of supply because they're getting the supply of having the affair partner choose them over their spouse, right? And then they're also getting supply from the triangulation from two different triangulations of that spouse and then also of their spouse, right? And even if the spouses have no idea, they're getting a lot of triangulation because they're playing the affair partner off of the partner or spouse and vice versa, even if they're not fully aware of each other, right? So obviously, usually the affair partner is, not always, but they're really getting a lot of narcissistic supply because it makes them feel like, oh, these people are just fighting over them. I'm sure if the people knew the rules of the game and knew what was really going on, I doubt they would be fighting. Like as soon as I knew what was really going on, I was like, peace out, brother. As soon as I knew that there was an affair and that there was all this crazy stuff going on and it was like with the married lady, I was like, peace out. But they cheat because they have that sense of entitlement. They are special. The rules do not apply to them, right? So you can't cheat. No way, but they can because they are special. You're not special, so you can't cheat, but they are. So, that entitlement is a huge part of why they cheat. They feel very entitled and they don't have any problem exploiting other people to get their supply needs met. So they're, the 3 E's again, entitlement, exploitation, and empathy impairment. So they will cheat, lie, steal, anything to get that supply, to get somebody to make them feel special, right? Because they don't have an internal core of self-esteem to be able to generate their own feelings of self-worth. So, so they exploit. And they also have low empathy, right? So they don't have an emotional response of feeling guilt or remorse when they cheat. They're not in touch with how their actions are affecting the other person, how that's making the other person feel. They don't care. They're not in touch with it. They don't have that capacity to feel that empathy, right? Not at all. So if you don't have any empathy, and if you're very exploitative, and if you feel very special and entitled, then what's to stop you from cheating, right? And they don't have any moral compass. They don't have any moral code. They don't have any design for living that's reasonable that they live by. They usually don't believe in a higher power. Some performatively do. Some perform to be Christians or whatever, but they really probably in their hearts, I'm doubtful that they are truly connected to God. It's my opinion. But yeah, so the 3 E's. And then often what they'll do is they will definitely put they'll blame either the affair partner, right? Because she did it or he did it. He came on to me. They seduced me, right? They do that a lot. Like, I didn't do anything. They seduced me, and, I was in a tricky situation, and I just, I didn't say no, right? So they'll blame the affair partner, and they'll also blame the spouse. So quite often, with covert narcissists, the rest of the world cannot see who this person is, right? Because they're very good at crafting this narrative, this image. It's very important for covert narcissists to appear to be a good guy or a good girl. They want the world to think that they're really nice, that they're, honest, that they have integrity, that they're decent, right? They want the world to think that they're really good people. And so their image is very important to them. So they are careful about crafting that image, and their cheating is all going to be very sneaky, right? It's very, very sneaky, very under the radar. So with coverts, their mask matters. They care what other people think. They don't want the world to think of them as dirty, rotten, scoundrel cheaters, right? They want the world to think that they're like a really nice, upstanding citizen. And that's what they present. So when the rest of the world thinks that, the rest of the world might be surprised, when they find out that the covert narcissist cheated. And the way the covert narcissist creates this narrative is that somehow the spouse must have done something so bad that the narcissist had to cheat on them. Like, they would never, ever normally cheat, but somehow this person was just so bad to them. A lot of times, covert narcissists will make up a lie, a story that their spouse cheated first, and they were just, they were cheating because that person cheated, or yada, yada, yada. Like, the bullshit lies, web of lies that they will construct and craft is just beyond comprehension. So a lot of times, they're going to craft this narrative, and it's going to be very subtle, and it's going to be very manipulative, and it's going to be very underhanded. And, often they may have been doing a smear campaign against their spouse for a long time before the spouse probably never had any idea, but talking crap about their spouse. So they're creating in other people's minds this narrative that this person is, that they're with is bad and deserve to be cheated on somehow, right? And then also they're so good at placing the blame on other people that sometimes the spouse even believes the narrative that they deserved it. They did something wrong. They weren't sexy enough. They weren't skinny enough. They weren't affectionate enough. They didn't love the person the way they deserve to be loved. Because remember, that's what the narcissist will do is, make the spouse think that there's something that they did to cause the cheating. And I'm sorry, I don't care what you did. If cheating is a personal choice, it really is. Now, sometimes cheating is a personal choice fueled by drugs or alcohol. Sometimes cheating is a personal choice fueled by narcissism. I'm not saying there isn't impetus for people to cheat, but it's always a personal choice, right? So you're not to blame if the narcissist cheated on you. That shit's on them. And of course, they have an inability to accept personal responsibility. They're all about blame shifting. They're all about putting the responsibility onto the other person. They do not have a lot of capacity to accept personal responsibility for anything they do. So of course, they're going to blame the spouse. Of course, they're going to blame the affair partner. And, it's all about that blame shifting. So yeah, they'll cheat because because they're exploitative, they don't have any empathy, or they have an empathy impairment, and they're very special. They are entitled. The rules do not apply to them. So I hope this helped you guys, and I hope you are having a great day, and I'll check in soon. Bye.